Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Friday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey, somewhere in the mid-afternoon. And in Chicago, Illinois, we got Vinnie, Parise of PucksandPitchforks.com season debut in Prague. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. As the Devils take on Lindy Ruff's Buffalo Sabres. Happy Devils to you, Vinny. How are you, man?
Sam, that music started playing, and I don't know if you were able to see me, but I just started cheesing. I am so happy to be here. It is is this year 4? This is year 4 of doing this together.
Wow, I didn't even realize that.
It has been a long ride. We've done some live events together. I've come out to New Jersey. We did the stadium series. We've seen some playoff games. We've been sad. We've been angry. We've been exhilarated. This show has brought a lot of emotion. You know, we've done a lot. So I'm excited for another big year. Hopefully this year goes a little bit differently than it did last year. But, you know, even last year, they didn't make the playoffs. They stunk. But we had so much fun, Sam. Let's be honest. It was as fun of a season as we could possibly imagine. And that's what the Devils give us. Another year, Sam, another year.
Another year, and exciting things happen. I'll tell you what, I needed an Erica Wachter pep talk to get me to this grind. Because we took some time off this summer, especially me. Had my medical leave, so to speak. And then, you know, we were doing a couple podcasts here. And they're not our normal everyday podcasts. Now that the season started, I needed a little boost. And then, did you watch that video that Erica sent us? The Let's Go Devils podcast.
She was
good friend
very
of the podcast,
complimentary.
Erica. Yeah. So I'm fired up. And then hearing that music, it was like, we're ready to go.
We're back.
Then we've got some fans. Our good buddy Rick, friend of the podcast, also our CPA as well, at O2 Arena. Let's go live to Rick. He's got what's going on at O2 Arena. Rick, can you hear us?
Yeah, hey guys, I can hear you.
You can hear us?
It's stuck in the beauty. Yes.
Oh, okay. So what's the crowd like over at O2 Arena?
All right, well, I'm just gonna talk a little bit. I don't know if you can hear.
Yeah, we can hear.
But here's the arena.
People
it looks
are
like
filing in.
it looks like it's a big arena for being like an overseas like hockey arena.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like it's not Madison Square Garden, but it's big. It's bigger than I expected it to be.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool. Well, we're gonna mute Rick right now, and you know, if you could just show us the views and everything, Rick, as we're talking, Vinny. So Devils take on the Buffalo Sabres, and actually, I didn't even mute him. Wow, we're already at technical difficulties on.
I mean, I kind of like the sights and the sounds of.
Oh, you do? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I didn't know what kind of. We didn't go over this in our production meeting, but
no, we didn't. But it's cool to hear. Like it does sound a little bit different. It has a different feel.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, if you could flip the camera around, and see if you could go the other way, pointing at the fans. There we go.
There's a lot of Devils.
There were some Ranger fans outside the arena. Can you believe that?
That's nuts. I mean, I feel like at an event like this, where an NHL team takes it overseas, those overseas fans just wear whatever NHL jerseys they could come up with. And, you know, there's been a lot of great Czech players to play for the Rangers over the years. I'm sure there's a pretty good following of just about every team over in Czechia. Czechia is, without question, one of the 5 or 6 best hockey countries in the world. So I'm super NHL action to kick off this season. I know there are some people over there in Czechia that stay up real late to watch the Devils play, to watch the NHL in general throughout the regular season. So I'm super stoked for all the locals there that are able to get to take it in. Every now and then, it is cool to hear about people from New Jersey or Buffalo going there to see their team play in Czechia. I would have done it if I could. But I also feel like I want as many locals that don't get to watch NHL hockey go and take up those seats as much as possible. So I'm excited for them. It's going to be a good time. I hope the two teams put on a good show.
You want to know something? Talk about technical difficulties. Apparently, they can't see us on on the live stream. It's just
that doesn't appear to be correct via Twitter.
Okay.
Could see us perfectly fine.
But on YouTube Live,
I could do a check on that.
I'm doing a YouTube Live, unless something's gone wrong here. Huh.
It looks
can
like
they
you can
hear us?
It looks like you can see us on YouTube too.
Can you? Then there's something wrong on my end because I'm getting.
And you can hear them too.
You really?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Are we good? Okay.
I think so.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, everyone's saying, Tom is saying, see you fine. It's stuck. If you want to look at mine, it's actually, maybe it's on a delay. All right, people are confusing me. Stop texting me, everybody. Now I see myself on the YouTube Live.
That's funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people filing in with all sorts of jerseys, too, via the Join Our Crew cam. Really, really cool to see all the people. You know me, the reason I do this, Sam, I could have easily just been a quiet hockey fan and just mind my own business and watch, but I want more people to enjoy the game because I don't feel like it gets the proper love that it deserves, hockey, and I think it should be right there with football and baseball and basketball. I think every sport is great. I love them all, and I think hockey deserves that shine just as much, and I want to help bring that to people. And seeing it go over to Czechia and bring the NHL to Czechia with two American teams is awesome. Like, they didn't even bring any Canadian teams this time, which is really fun. I know Buffalo's right on the cusp.
Well, they don't win Stanley Cups in Canada anymore.
That's true. That's true. I like making fun of them for not winning cups in Canada. But then I look at Florida's roster, and it's like Canadian, Matthew Tkachuk, Canadian, Barkov, Canadian. The Devils roster really isn't like that. Who's the best Canadian on the Devils? It's probably Dougie Hamilton. But, like, besides him, you know, Heischer's Swiss, Meyer's Swiss, Bratt's Swedish, Hughes is American, both Hughes. Markstrom is Swedish. So there's a lot of great hockey countries contributing to the success of a lot of teams around the NHL. The Devils are one of them.
Well, Julie down on the ground, our beat reporter, texting me that there are a lot of obnoxious Sabres fans, and it is technically a Sabres home game tonight. So maybe that's why. I don't know. A lot of Devils fans making the trip. Good friends of the podcast like Ken Danico, Bill Spalding on Twitter. It will be broadcasted on the MSG networks as well at a 1 p.m. Eastern start. And, you know, as the beginning of this season, you know what, there are some injuries. And during the Let's Go Devils podcast and also State of the Fan address, we were doing season predictions. And we will do that again. I've already said my piece, but I am not sold about the New Jersey Devils. On paper, I am. Definitely on paper. But I'm just fearful. Just maybe it's, the post-traumatic syndrome, whatever. But I'm just fearful that this team is too fragile and they're not going to be healthy enough to live up to their potential. What are your thoughts?
So, first of all, Sam, 2 years ago when they stunk and we weren't expecting them to stink. 3 years ago when we first started, we were expecting them to stink. Then we came in 21-22, thought they'd be good, and they stunk anyway. You said 2025 Stanley Cup champions. So I want you to stick to that. This is the year.
Well, it could
This
be
is the year.
2025 to 26. See, that's my
Yeah,
hope.
but you said 2025 Stanley
I
Cup
know.
championship.
I
We're
did. I
sticking
did that 4
with
years
it.
ago.
I don't know. I get what you're saying. I think 2 years ago they were unrealistically healthy. Okay, Hughes played 78 games. Heischer played 81. Hamilton played the whole year. Um, Vanacek played the whole year. Was healthy. Played well. They were unrealistically healthy 2 years ago, and we saw the results. They were unrealistically unhealthy last year. Hughes missed 20 plus games. Heischer missed about 10. Dougie Hamilton missed about 50. Um, might even been more than 50 for Hamilton. Um, the goaltenders were hurt and not playing well. You figure you regress to the mean a little bit. You guys are going to get hurt. Heischer and Hughes won't play 82 games. That's just how hockey works. No top two. Makar and McKinnon won't play all 82 games each. Like whatever team you want to look at with their two best players, that's not just going to be the case most of the time. I think you regress to the mean a little bit on health. You get good goaltending from Markstrom and Allen, and you really come in with a chance to be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. You said you liked the team on paper. I challenge anyone to find a team, more than 5 teams that are stronger than the Devils up the middle. If they have Hughes, Heischer, Haula, Lazar as the top 4 centers every single game, or 90% of the games. Toronto comes to mind. I like Matthews, Nylander, Tavares as a top 3 center trio. I like Edmonton with Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Draisaitl. Or if you move Nugent Hopkins to the wing, they have a couple bottom 6 that they could move in. There are a couple teams that are right there. But the top 4 on the New Jersey Devils, they are built through the middle of the ice for the first time in a while. Sheldon Keefe, the best forward he ever had was Austin Matthews. But you could make a claim the second best forward he ever had was Jack Hughes. He never had a two-way centerman like Nico Hischier. John Tavares is close, but he's a little older, lost a step a little bit by the time Sheldon Keefe got there. Nico Hischier is just entering his prime. He never had a defenseman as good as Dougie Hamilton. He might have never even had a defenseman as good as Luke Hughes or Simon Nemetz in his time in Toronto. I know Morgan Riley, most people would probably take what he's done over what Luke Hughes or Nemetz has done. But like Hamilton, no shot. He's never had a defenseman that good to work with, even a goalie as good as Markstrom. So we'll see what Sheldon Keefe is able to get out of this group. Like you said, on paper, they look real nice. They have to stay healthy. Does Andre Palat kind of bounce back offensively a little bit this year? He's starting the year off in Czechia, his home country. I'm sure that's a little bit of a boost for him. I wouldn't be shocked to see him have a little extra pep in his step over these next 2 games, and maybe he comes back to North America with a handful of goals in his bag already, and he's a little more confident about his game. Pesce and Luke Hughes will be back in short order. Probably Pesce first and then Luke. And then Seamus Casey gets to make his NHL debut today. And that is awesome news.
I'll tell you what gives me hope, because a lot of people think I'm doom and gloom, but I'm trying to be realistic. Last year I was trying to be a homer, saying that the Devils would have 141 points to end the season. That didn't obviously happen, didn't even come close. But here are my thoughts. What's giving me hope? In another sport, my New York Mets are giving me hope. Why? Because the expectations going into the season was it was supposed to be a rebuild. But what we found out over time is, I believe, team chemistry and team morale is worth more than what the analytics will actually tell you. Okay, analytics is more of a science. But don't you ever discount the human spirit, the athlete, the will, the determination, and the love for your fellow teammates. And that, my friends, is what's giving me hope, because even on paper, as I'm a little bit doom and gloom with injuries and all that, what we see with the Mets is they overcame every single challenge that was at them. And they were 11 games under 500 in the end of May, and it was all doom and gloom. But somehow they figured it out. Now, some say it's Grimace. Some say it's the Hawk Tua girl. Some say it was the guy that the player that threw his helmet into the stands and said, we suck. All that. I forgot that player's name. Whatever it is, okay, team chemistry and playing as a team versus individuals will always supersede analytics and what's on paper. Now, what do we have here? What gives me hope is the meat line. Cotter, Bastian, and Lazar. We all know about Lazar and his eating habits. We all know about Bastian and the beef. Could this be a renaissance for Bastian? And Cotter, he has impressed me so far. That is the energy. That is the physicality. And that's the third line I project, possibly fourth, that could be a difference maker of giving the Devils depth, but also giving protection and less wear and tear on the top six. And I think that's where offensively that the Devils will do well in if they stay healthy. Defensively, well, in the offseason, Tom Fitzgerald added Pesce, who is going to take some time to get back. Dylan and all the rookies, and Seamus Casey, Nemitz, Luke Hughes, whatever. They're already testing their depth right off the bat. And that's why I think Tom Fitzgerald did a good job, because he loaded the defensive core, that blue line, on that roster. And I think with Dougie Hamilton coming back from that awful injury, things are going to take time. I think the Devils are going to have a slow start, but somewhere, hopefully, that they can pivot. And my 2025 prediction that I did 4 years ago would be good.
Yeah, I'm coming in optimistic because, I always do, probably to a fault. They're always good in October, even when they stunk. Like, remember all the Taylor Hall years? They were good in October. And even last year, so good in October. And then the difference between 2 years ago and every other year was they didn't stop after October. They went on what Jack Hughes called the 9-game heater in November. And, it became a 13-game heater. You remember the Thanksgiving Eve Blackout Wednesday game where the Maple Leafs fans threw chicken tenders on the ice. Or I think it was the Devils fans throwing chicken tenders on the ice at Mitch Marner.
And rightfully so. I know people have said that's disgusting, that's unsportsmanlike, not classy Devils fans, but the Toronto Maple Leafs fans did it like 6 months later. If I remember
100%.
correctly. Yeah, and there was 100%. Beer and all that kind of stuff. So whatever,
we're all classless hockey fans at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it was just chicken fingers, folks. It's not like anything else other than that. But I just want to welcome YouTube Live. I see familiar faces: Select the Boy, Ted, Tom, Matthias, Joseph Laneham, some new listeners also on X, formerly known as Twitter. We pay $22 a month to stream on X now. And there was a debate between Nick Villano and I. Should we pay it? Should we pay it? Should we not? Whatever. Don't give them their money, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, we didn't want to alienate our fans. So a lot of people want to listen on Twitch. They are right now. And also go to joinourcrew.com. Again, joinourcrew.com, because you want to get the latest where we're going to be. The podcast will be traveling this season. First event, October 10th at American Whiskey. We are back. American Whiskey, the official home game bar of the Let's Go Devils podcast. And you know what else is back, Vinny?
What's that, Sam?
We didn't discuss it. But I don't know who's going to do it. But I'll let you answer first. What's going to be back again opening night at American Whiskey on October 10th?
Is it something you consume?
You could say that.
When you're a little thirsty?
And I'll also add, you can't consume it while you're driving.
Oh, yeah. No, don't do that.
Yeah, no.
We want everyone to be safe here at the Let's Go Devils podcast.
Not announce.
Yep. I don't do it. I truly don't do it. Yep, I don't. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm an Uber guy or a not having it if I'm behind the wheel kind of guy. I know how to handle that. Please don't do it. Do not. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're not driving, fun as heck to drink.
I got to interrupt. Steve Engel can't talk, just listening. Oh, thank God. Steve Engel in YouTube Live. He can't talk. All right, good. But getting back to the topic, do you know what's coming back at American Whiskey with the Let's Go Devils podcast on opening night?
I have one more question to confirm.
Oh, yeah.
Is it red?
There may be a change. It used to be
Ooh.
red. Used to be red.
Ooh. Not going to be red anymore?
There may be leftover red. But
I have a little red left over.
Yeah, that was limited edition. But go ahead. Don't let me interrupt you. Are you going to answer or you want me to answer?
And Crew Brew. It's been a whole summer since I said that. And Crew Brew, where we make winning memories together, one crew at a time. And Crew Brew. Yeah. See, I might even have the note of the little slogan we came up with there about winning memories. I did that off the top of my head all summer.
Oh.
I didn't blank on it all summer. I had it in my head ready to go. You know, couple events over the summer. None of it got in the way of keeping that And Crew Brew in the back of my head.
No. Well, Paulie J says, who is the X factor for the season? I just think it's injuries. If you want to know, I think the team is talented on paper. And I'm beating a dead horse right now, but it all I can't say anything. We talked about beefalytics. That's why we have the meat line. I feel like we should have fans of the meat line as meatheads, and maybe we'll get Paul Cotter on this podcast. I've been working that angle, but yeah, that's
if I could think of one player, it would be Markstrom. You know, injuries are absolutely number one.
Yep.
But when Hughes is healthy, you know what you're gonna get. When Heischer is healthy, when Hughes is healthy, you're gonna get a guy who is dynamic offensively, can create off the rush, score goals, basically be a two-way offensive. By two-way, I mean goals and assists.
Mm-hmm.
Heischer, you're gonna get tip-ins. You're gonna get hard to play in front of the net. Defensive wizard, two-way centerman. When those guys are healthy, you know what you're getting. Same thing with Meyer, Bratt, Hamilton. Last year, goaltending was an issue, a big issue. Vanacek and Schmid were not good. Dawes was okay at times. I think the Devils are doing right by Dawes by kind of letting him develop a little bit in the lower leagues. Markstrom, that's the guy for me. If Markstrom has a good year, the Devils will be in the playoffs.
Yeah. And also there's some confusion where the game is going to be televised. Tom is right, MSG Networks and NHL Network as well.
NHL
if
Network
you're,
is how
I believe it's if you're in the geographical region of the New Jersey Devils, it will be MSG Networks and then NHL Network nationally, I believe. No ESPN Plus for this game. It is an NHL event. It's a global series event, so this is more in the NHL territory. This is not this local thing going on. But we got a few minutes to puck drop coming up top of the hour. But predictions, folks. Get your predictions in the YouTube Live, Facebook Live, X Live, Twitch. I want to hear your predictions of this game because Lindy Ruff's team is coming in. We didn't talk too much about the Sabres. Just half a step behind the New Jersey Devils in development. A lot of young kids. Lindy Ruff, does he have a chip on his shoulder? I always felt that Lindy Ruff got a raw deal in New Jersey. Finally, they have solid goaltending from the A and B standpoint that he never had. But I will say, though, that I still think he's a good coach, and I think he has a little bit of motivation with his team to defeat the New Jersey Devils twice overseas. But, Vinnie, I would like for you to give your prediction in a moment, but I'm seeing the predictions coming in. Joseph Lanham, 5-3 Devils. Selected Boy Selected Boy says 5-3 Devils as well. Tom says 5-2 Devils. So there's a lot of offensive theme here.
goaltending and defenses take a minute to get going. I do think there's going to be a lot of offense in the month of October this year. Teams are going to be scoring. We're going to be on pace for the most goals in the history of the NHL by the time October's over. And then we'll end right around where we normally do for the league average. But yeah, I do think there's going to be some high scoring in Prague. I got the Devils winning this one by a final score of 6-4.
All right. 6-4. I'm thinking offensive. It's going to be an offensive game. I think right now the preseason was kind of shortened. They kind of crammed it in. Now they're maybe a little jet lag there. I'm not sure. They've been practicing in Prague. And different arena, different environment. Maybe defensively they're not going to be as sharp. But then again, the skills may take over. I'm going to call 9-4 Devils. 9-4 Devils. So, Mrs. Wu, you're at work right now, sitting at your desk. Please mark down our predictions. Vinny, you have, what was it?
6-4 Devils, 10 goals total.
Okay.
You have 13 goals total.
I have 9-4 Devils. A victory.
All right.
At O2 Arena. And I'm going to look at
Would you like a lineup before you start reading the rest of the predictions?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Rick to get to live stream. But go ahead. What's the lineup? I want to hear the start.
Yeah, for the New Jersey Devils, the top line today will be Timo Meier playing alongside Jesper Bratt with Jack Hughes at center. The second line will be centered by Captain Nico Hischier, and Tomas Tatar and Dawson Mercer will be on his wing. On the third line, you have Eric Holla with Andre Palat playing in Czechia for the first time in his NHL career. And then Stefan Nason returns to the New Jersey Devils after being away for a couple years. Good return player for the Devils. Excited that he's back. Curtis Lazar will center the fourth line with Paul Cotter and Nathan Bastian, the meat line. The first pair, Brendan Dillon playing with Dougie Hamilton. I love Dillon playing with Dougie Hamilton. Defensive-minded, stay-at-home, responsible defenseman to play with the offensive wizard that is Dougie Hamilton. Jonas Siegenthaler playing with Jonathan Kovacevic on the second line. And then the third line, Seamus Casey will make his NHL debut alongside his partner, Simon Nemitz. Jacob Markstrom in net. Jake Allen will back him up. And that is your New Jersey Devils forward lines, defense pairs, and goaltending tandem for today.
Alrighty then. Okay. Well, we're going to head out of here. Want to thank all those tuning in. You could listen to our podcast on all of our podcast pages. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Prime, Audible, iHeart app, wherever you get our podcasts. Obviously, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, at Let's Go Devils, Facebook, at Let's Go Devils Podcast, Twitter, at Let's Go Devils Pod, 15 characters or less, and Twitch, at Let's Go Devils Podcast. Also, go to joinourcrew.com. Again, joinourcrew.com is really simple. Sign up, and you'll get the latest updates of the podcast, what we'll be doing this season. Usually we plan things last second because we're a bunch of procrastinators, and that's a quick way to get the word out. Vinny, you have anything last thing to plug before we go?
I'm super stoked for this season. Make sure you're following along on X, Twitter, at Let's Go Devils Pod, at Vinnie Parise, at Primetime Sam Wu. We got a lot of stuff coming at you this season, and I'm super stoked for it. I will be tweeting about the Devils every single day, so make sure you're tuning in for all that. And as they say, let's go Devils.
All righty then. So hitting the music. Wow. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, X Live. Devils After Dark will not be after the game. It will be after the game, because Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal, he's hanging out with his celebrity friends at the Michael J. Fox Studios and SiriusXM. He's hanging out with Offspring, the band Offspring, And then he's got, I think, October 10th, he's like, it's opening night, and I'm hanging out with Smashing Pumpkins. Can you believe
Smashing
that?
Pumpkins from my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
their lead singer went to my high school, one of my high school's biggest rivals. So
Yeah.
definitely
And I was
from around
like,
here.
Excuse me, Scotty, as your XM Liquid Metal. All right, well, go to joinourcrew.com. We'll see you after the game. Until next time, let's go Devils.